Monika Carter of Fitness Science Incorporated. Welcome to my Fat Blaster Circuit. So today we're doing a series of 6 videos. There will be 6 instructional videos and 6 workout videos. So please make sure you watch the instructional videos first so you're familiar with the form and you know exactly how to do these exercises. These are very advanced exercises. Make sure you are not a beginner. Make sure you don't have any injuries before you do these exercises. They are difficult. They require a lot of stabilization. They require a lot of muscular endurance and stamina. They're excellent in toning different muscles and working your core at the same time. They will incorporate as many different muscle groups as possible in each exercise so that you can go through the circuit of only 8, yet work the whole body in that short period of time. And they're designed to be done in sets of 2 or 3, so you basically do 1 circuit if you're a beginner doing these exercises, not the complete beginner. Do 1 circuit, then build up to 2, eventually 3. That should take you probably 20 to 30 minutes altogether. There will be very little rest in between. You're going to rest only 30 seconds between the first and second and third and fourth exercise. Then 60 to 90 seconds, a little longer rest between the 4th and the 5th, and then another short circuit of 4 following exercises with 30 seconds of rest in between. So not much rest, but you make sure you drink water. You always have that 30 seconds to get some water. It's very easy to get dehydrated. These are very intense exercises. Make sure that you can correctly stabilize, that you're not a complete beginner, that you are able to complete at least a few repetitions of the instructional videos first and do them slowly to make sure you get the form. And if you can, then go ahead and start with the workout itself. So the exercises themselves are done very slowly. It puts more demand on the muscles. You will burn more calories this way. Your muscles will actually get more burn and more tone. But you will be progressing from one exercise to the other, as I just said, very quickly. So this is part 5 of our Fat Blaster series, and we're going to start with a shoulder and leg exercise. Side lunge, which I showed you before in our previous videos. You're going down to one side with a leg. I'm actually going to hold the dumbbell here and make sure your leg and foot is in one line. You come back. I'm going to come back to balance. If this is too hard for you, just put the foot down. From here, I start in this position. It gives you a little bigger range of motion on the deltoid, and I'm going to do a shoulder press. Hold my arm over here, come back to another lunge, back down to back up to balance, I should say. Coming back, one more time, down, back up to balance, shoulder press, and come back down. Next exercise for chest, pec flies. I'm sure you have done them before, whether with dumbbells or with cables. This one is a little more challenging because you're just doing it with one arm. I'm going to give your legs a little bit of a break after the previous exercise. So you're going to sit on the ball, come down so that your head and upper back is supported. Feet not too far apart, right? Close together so your core has to work a little harder. Bring your tush up and squeeze your glutes. From here, you're going to come down with a slightly bent elbow to whatever range is comfortable. If you can go lower than parallel to the floor, that's fine, as long as it's not straining your shoulder too much. And on this one, if you're doing regular dumbbell presses with, let's say, 12-15 pounds, you probably want to do this one with about 10 because of the long lever arm. It's going to put that much more tension on your bicep and your chest muscles. Okay, so very slowly, bring it down. Remember, this is slow, and because you're doing it unilaterally, you're going to feel the glutes on that same side that you're doing working a lot harder to stabilize your body and prevent it from falling off the ball. So just make sure the hips are up and glutes are engaged.
Second stage of our rocket is filled with...
Okay, so next exercise, back lunge. So working your legs, your glutes, core to support you, of course, and your back muscles. A little bit of lats. I'm doing something in between the lat row here, or lat pull down in a way, except with cables, and a row which would be here. So we're going to do it at about 45-degree angle. So think about pulling the shoulder blades together and bringing them down towards your tailbone so that your lower trapezius works together with your lats and your teres major. And keeping your chest forward as you do it, palms turned up and elbows slightly behind you. I'm going to grab the cables and slowly, starting right about here, in line with the cables, you're going to do a back lunge from here, stay here and do a cable pull down back. Coming back up, lunge down, hold this position, row back. You can call it a row, you can call it pull down, it's somewhere in between, it's actually neither, but about 45-degree angle, just as long as you're pulling shoulder blades together. Coming back and pulling down. So a lot of people will do this, or they will bring the arms here. If that's what you're doing, it's absolutely too heavy. So you've got to lighten it up so that you can keep your chest straight and really bring those elbows and shoulder blades together and elbows slightly behind you. And come back up. All right, so we're moving on to another abdominal exercise. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use the towel as I did in one of the previous videos to just hold my back on the floor and make sure that I'm contracting my abdominals and pressing my back down. So I'm going to lie down on my back, just make sure the towel is in the right spot. You're going to bring the ball between your hands, just holding it with your hands. And I'm going to start right here just because it's a little bit easier to show you. From here, you're going to pass the ball between your legs and then holding it very slowly go down. Now, most people's abdominals, especially lower abdominals, are not strong enough to go all the way down without arching the back. So, and I'm not even going to show you all the way, but I'm going to bring my legs here quite low, come back up, and we're going to do 6 each way so that you have 12 all together. And then you're passing the ball, feet together, and back down. And again, if there's anything at all happening with your back, you stop sooner, you bend your legs, whatever you have to do. Even just doing it here, it's still very hard for the abs. So if that's the only range you've got because of the limited strength of your abdominals, that's where you want to stay. Back here and down together, and that's it. So the next exercise will combine the core, or in this particular case, plank exercise with the tricep. So we're going to start in a plank position with your feet wider than in a normal plank, just for support, because you're going to be holding your weight on one arm and doing a tricep kickback with the other. So let's start with the plank. I have my hands here on the floor, my feet a little bit wider, and remember to keep your abs pulled in, glutes tight, so you're not here, you're not sinking, okay? Everything is stable, the body in a straight line. Then you bring, if you have that strength, remember this is an advanced series, you bring your arm up and do a tricep kickback. So a lot of work for your core, for your right arm, right shoulder, while you're doing that tricep. Trying to keep the hip, left hip down, not letting it rotate, okay? So you've got to be able to maintain the position. So if you don't have the strength, you might want to just start practicing this kind of movement, or even just taking your hand off the floor for a little bit and then coming back down. Once you can hold it for a few seconds, then you can move on to this particular exercise. Moving on to a lateral walk. Working on the muscle that's very weak in a lot of people. It's very important in gait and proper balancing. This is your gluteus medius, that little glute here right on the side. If you look at dancers' glutes, they have them really nicely developed and they sit high up here, so they actually give your butt a nice shape. So the movement to the side is more like gliding. You're just going to the side. I am dragging one foot on the ground. You don't have to, but it becomes a little bit harder if you don't. So I'm just going to focus on the leg that I'm leading with. And my foot is always straight, so there's a tendency to turn the foot out, in which case you're going to switch to your quads. That's not the muscle we're trying to work. So make sure the foot is always turned in. The easier way to think about it is keeping the foot flexed and leading with the heel. So that if you go sideways, this is the movement. The toes always pointing straight, and the other side. Now I'm keeping a little bit of tension. I never bring the feet together so the rubber band doesn't fall off, but also so you keep that tension on the muscle. And we're going to add a shoulder movement and a little bit, going to work your biceps a little bit here. So let me start over. This is not a very graceful exercise from just looking at it, but it's very effective in shaping the side of your leg and your butt as well as the arms here. So you're going to start moving forward and you push the ball forward as you move. So it's a strong push, exhale, and back, and exhale, and back again, and exhale, and exhale. All right. Abdominals, pretty intense core exercise. You're starting in a plank position, except the ball is going to be between your legs with your hands on the floor. And keeping your upper body fairly stable, you're rotating your lower body, trying to almost touch the floor with your foot on one side. So you're going to feel your adductors here, your inner thigh muscles working. A lot of core, of course. This is more specifically for the obliques. And always in a plank position, you're working your shoulders, scapula stabilizes your arms, and you're definitely going to feel it. So again, getting on the ball is probably the easiest, just putting the leg on top. And then once I'm up, I'm going to bring the ball between my legs and just make sure to keep your legs really straight. Your leg muscles really do need to work here. And very slowly, you're going to rotate down. It looks very easy, but my left oblique is really kicking in right now. So I'm going to rotate to the other side, tap the floor if you can, squeeze the opposite oblique, come back, and again, over, upper body stays stable, make sure your lower back is supported, belly button is pulled in towards the spine, very slow, and come back. Last exercise in this series, we're going to do a posterior deltoid fly again with some core. As you've noticed in all of these videos, I try to incorporate the core as much as possible, even if I'm not working it directly in an abdominal exercise, so that many times your core will be so sore and so tired that you will not need a lot more abdominal exercises in addition to it. So I'm keeping the series down to about 2 or 3 abdominal exercises, at most sets of 12 for that very reason. Okay, so we're going to start with, I have a little rubber band. This is sort of like looks like a letter 8. And this is just pretty light resistance. You don't need a lot of heavy resistance on this one. This is the lightest one. The next one would be green. And most people probably wouldn't use much more than that because the position you're going to be in is quite challenging. Again, you're supporting yourself on one arm. As you do it, you're going to alternate arms. Slightly apart with your feet, you're going to start in a perfect plank. And again, the important part here is that when you turn, you don't bring this hip up. Okay, so this hip stays down, you're just isolating the arm. So, and we're going to alternate arms, so glutes tight, abs tight, pull back, and come down, and the other side. Back, come down, and the other side. You're going to feel that hip rotating just a little bit, but try to keep it down as much as possible. And your head is in line. I was looking up trying to make sure that my form was correct, but you should keep your head in line as I'm holding it right now, and back the other side. If this is too hard for you, you can always grab something like this, something a little bit higher in the gym. You could do it on a bar, on the Smith machine, or any kind of bar that's a little bit higher, and just put your hands on the bar. Even for a lot of people, even in a straight position with your bar being at the chest level, that would be pretty challenging because you have to support yourself on that one arm.